I was in my car, hands tight on the steering wheel, when Amanda Chin called. I'd left Thanksgiving dinner early, couldn't stomach another toast to Ryan's business genius. The penthouse. My penthouse. The one I'd bought 8 years ago with my first senior associate bonus. The one where I'd celebrated my partnership. The one Ryan apparently sold for his crypto fund without bothering to mention I owned it. Amanda Chin, I said, voice steady despite my heart hammering. I haven't heard that name in 12 years. Jessica Martinez, she said, and I could hear the smile in her voice before it faded. I wish this was a reunion call. I'm representing buyers in a penthouse purchase. 432 West 28th Street, Unit 4802. They're scheduled to close Friday. The deed shows your name as sole owner. Did you authorize a sale? The traffic light ahead turned red. I stopped. No. That's what I thought. The signature on the purchase agreement. I've seen your signature on law review articles. This isn't close. Ryan had my penthouse under contract. Buyers excited. Movers scheduled. Closing in 3 days. And he'd forged my signature on legal documents. Amanda, I need you to do something for me. Already done, she said. I've contacted the title company. Sale is frozen pending investigation. But Jessica, your brother is going to know by tomorrow morning. Good, I said. The light turned green. I didn't move. Let him know. The penthouse had been my sanctuary for 8 years. Corner unit, floor-to-ceiling windows, views of the Hudson River. I'd worked 90-hour weeks as a junior associate to afford the down payment. Skipped vacations. Ate ramen for dinner. Watched my law school classmates buy cars and traveled to Europe while I saved every dollar. Ryan knew all this. He'd helped me move in, complained about the 5 flights of stairs when the elevator broke, ate pizza on my bare floors that first night. You made it, Jess, he'd said, toasting with a beer bottle. Corporate lawyer with a penthouse. Mom and Dad must be proud. They were. For about 3 months. Until Ryan announced he was pivoting to entrepreneurship. That was 8 years ago. Since then, a failed app startup. A cryptocurrency trading venture that lost $40,000 of Dad's money. An NFT marketplace that lasted 6 weeks. A blockchain consulting firm with 0 clients. And now, apparently, a crypto investment fund built on my real estate. Every failure, I'd heard the same speech from my parents. Ryan's a visionary. He just needs the right opportunity. Not everyone can be a boring corporate attorney, Jessica. Boring. That word showed up at every family gathering. My partnership? Boring but stable. My pro bono work? Boring resume building. My penthouse? Boring investment property. Meanwhile, Ryan's failures were reframed as learning experiences and market timing issues. The $40,000 loss? An education. The NFT collapse? Early to the space. His complete lack of income for 8 years. Building something meaningful. I'd listened to this for years. Smiled. Nodded. Paid for family dinners because Ryan was between opportunities. Covered his portion of Mom's birthday gift because he was reinvesting everything in the business. Bought a new laptop for Dad's retirement because Ryan's crypto fund needed capital. The ghost ledger started forming in my head that night after Amanda's call. Not the financial costs, though those were substantial. The other cost. The ones that don't show up on bank statements. The ghost ledger. Compiled November 26, 2024. Confidence erosion. Made partner at 32. Family response equals, that's nice. Ryan announced new crypto fund same day. 30-minute standing ovation at dinner. Cost, self-worth. Non-refundable. Emergency availability. Ryan's crises requiring immediate attention. 23 instances over 8 years. My actual emergencies discussed. 0. Cost. The belief that my problems matter. Never recovered. Life milestone attendance. Partnership celebration dinner. Parents arrived 90 minutes late because Ryan needed help with pitch deck. Dad's speech. 2 minutes on my career, 15 minutes on Ryan's visionary thinking. Cost. Memory of my biggest achievement permanently diluted. Financial exploitation disguised as family. Borrowed, amounts never repaid. $8,400 over 6 years. My salary openly discussed. Always. Ryan's finances. Private family matter. Cost, the fiction that we were equals. Price tag, dignity. Time theft. Hours spent reviewing Ryan's business plans. 347 hours minimum. Hours Ryan spent reviewing my cases. 0. Weekends helping Ryan network. 28. Ryan attending my work events. 0. Cost, 375 hours of my life spent watching someone fail upward. Emotional labor. Consoling mom after each Ryan failure. Ongoing. Being consoled after my successes. Never. Cost, the relationship I thought we had. Total loss. I stared at the ledger on my laptop screen. Numbers that didn't involve dollars. Costs that couldn't be repaid. 8 years of being the dependable one, the boring one, the one who didn't need attention. 8 years of watching Ryan fail while I succeeded, yet somehow I was always the supporting character in his story. And now he was selling my penthouse without my permission to fund another doomed venture. Friday morning. The day Ryan expected to close. I got the call at 9:47 a.m. Jessica. Mom's voice tight with anger. What did you do? Good morning to you too. The title company called Ryan this morning. The sale is frozen. They're investigating for fraud. Fraud, Jessica. Ryan is devastated. The investors are furious. The buyers are threatening to sue. This was supposed to close today. I sipped my coffee. Let the silence stretch. Outside my office window, my corner office, the one I'd earned, the city gleamed in morning light. Mom, did Ryan tell you whose penthouse he was selling? What? The property at 432 West 28th Street. Whose name is on the deed? Silence. Then quieter. He said it was a joint investment property. You and him together. I bought that penthouse 8 years ago. I pay the mortgage. I pay the property taxes. I pay the maintenance fees. My name is the only name on the deed. Ryan tried to forge my signature on a purchase agreement and sell my home without my knowledge. That's not. Ryan said you'd agreed to sell. He said you were splitting the proceeds for his fund. Call the title company, I said. Ask them whose signature is on the documents. Then ask them if it matches any of my legal documents on file. I hung up. The investigation moved with the methodical precision I'd spent years admiring in legal proceedings. Each step was a small satisfaction. Day 1, evidence collection. Title company forensic examiner Patricia Holloway reviewed all documents. Purchase agreement signature. Analyzed. My actual signature from deed, mortgage documents, bar admission. Compared. Discrepancy, obvious. The I in Martinez has a distinctive flourish in all your legitimate documents, Patricia told me during our phone call. The purchase agreement signature is generic. Almost certainly traced from a scanned document then modified. Day 3 expanded investigation. Patricia requested all communication between Ryan and the buyers. Emails revealed Ryan had been negotiating for 6 weeks. He'd provided a copy of the deed, legitimate. He'd provided a driver's license photo, mine from Facebook. He'd provided a signature authorization, forged. The buyers, a young couple relocating from San Francisco, had no idea. They'd hired Amanda specifically because of her reputation for thorough due diligence. Day 5 buyer interview. Amanda met with her clients. They were horrified. They'd already given notice on their San Francisco apartment. Their furniture was in transit. They'd enrolled their daughter in a Manhattan elementary school. They'd believed they were buying their dream home, not participating in real estate fraud. Day 7, criminal referral. Patricia compiled a report. 32 pages documenting forgery, fraud, attempted theft. She forwarded it to the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. Real estate fraud over $1 million. Class B felony in New York. Penalty. Up to 25 years. Day 10 Ryan's lawyer consultation. Ryan hired an attorney. Criminal defense specialist. $15,000 retainer. The attorney reviewed the evidence, then apparently told Ryan exactly what I could have told him for free. He was completely exposed. Day 14 family intervention attempt. My parents requested a meeting. Family therapy session, Mom called it. I declined. They showed up at my office anyway. Security escorted them out after Dad raised his voice in the lobby. Partner meeting that afternoon. Did I need a restraining order? I said I'd consider it. Day 18, plea discussion. Ryan's attorney contacted the DA. Would the victim consider a civil resolution? Would she accept restitution? Would she sign a statement declining to press charges? The DA called me directly. Ms. Martinez, this is your decision. But I want you to know, this is one of the clearest fraud cases I've reviewed. We have documentation, intent, financial harm. If you want to prosecute, we have an extremely strong case. I thought about the ghost ledger. 8 years of emotional costs. 375 hours of my time. Confidence eroded, emergencies ignored, achievements minimized. The penthouse was never just a property. It was proof that the boring corporate attorney had built something real while the visionary entrepreneur built nothing but debt and delusion. Prosecute, I said. The consequences cascaded like dominoes, each one a small, satisfying click. Immediate criminal charges. Ryan was arraigned 3 weeks after Thanksgiving. Attempted grand larceny. Forgery. Criminal impersonation. Bail, $50,000. Dad paid it. Mom called me crying. He's your brother. I didn't answer. Professional investor exodus. The crypto fund investors discovered their founding partner had attempted to fund the venture with stolen real estate. All 12 investors withdrew. 2 threatened lawsuits for misrepresentation. The fund collapsed before it officially launched. Ryan's visionary reputation, destroyed. Financial, legal fees. Criminal defense attorney, $15,000 retainer, $40,000 additional fees over 4 months. Civil attorney for buyer negotiations, $8,000. Ryan had no income. Dad paid. Mom's retirement savings, depleted. Social, family fracture. Extended family learned the full story. Cousins who'd celebrated Ryan's business savvy, silent. Aunts who'd called me boring, apologetic. Uncle Marcus who'd lent Ryan $12,000 in 2019, furious. Family group chat, disbanded. Thanksgiving invitation 2025, not sent. Real estate buyer compensation. The San Francisco couple sued for damages. Moving expenses, temporary housing, school enrollment fees, emotional distress. Settlement, $47,000. Ryan had no assets. Dad paid again. The couple found a different penthouse. Higher floor, better view. They sent me a thank you card for stopping the fraud before they'd wired the down payment. Personal, parental reckoning. Mom called 6 weeks after the arraignment. Dad was on speaker. We need to talk about Ryan's legal situation. No apology. No acknowledgement. Just another emergency requiring my attention. I listened for 90 seconds. Then I spoke. For 8 years I've watched you celebrate his failures and ignore my successes. I made partner. You talked about Ryan's crypto dreams. I bought a penthouse. You called it a boring investment. I built a career. You said I should be more visionary like Ryan. He tried to steal my home. Forge my signature. Fund another failed venture with my property. And your first response was to ask what I did wrong. I'm done. No more emergency calls. No more family therapy. No more explaining why I won't cover his portion of gifts or dinners or bail. I'm closing this account. The balance is 0. Dad started to argue. I hung up. Blocked both numbers. 8 years of emotional debt. Paid in full. 6 months later. Ryan pled guilty in April. Reduced charges. Attempted theft by deception, forgery in the 2nd degree. Sentence. 3 years probation, 200 hours community service, $50,000 restitution. His criminal record. Permanent. I sold the penthouse in May. Not because Ryan had tainted it, but because I wanted something different. Somewhere without memories of family dinners and birthday parties and Ryan complaining about stairs. I bought a brownstone in Brooklyn. Garden and back. Home office with proper soundproofing. Space for a life Ryan wasn't in. Amanda and I had lunch last week. First time since Yale graduation. We talked about the case, about old professors, about how strange it was that a random real estate transaction had reconnected us. I almost didn't take that call, she said. Friday afternoon, about to leave the office. But something felt wrong about the documents. I'm glad you did, I said. He really thought he'd get away with it? I thought about Ryan at Thanksgiving. The confidence in his voice. The family applause. The certainty that my property was his opportunity. 8 years of being told his vision mattered more than my reality had convinced him it was true. He thought the penthouse was wasted on me, I said. Boring investment property. He could do something visionary with it. Transform it into capital. Make it meaningful. And now he has a criminal record and I have a brownstone. Turns out boring and stable builds wealth. Visionary and reckless builds debt. The family WhatsApp messages started arriving last month. Mom trying to reconnect. Dad suggesting coffee. Ryan's probation officer as a conversation starter, as if his criminal consequences were neutral territory. I read them. Didn't respond. Deleted them after screenshots for my records. There's a philosophical concept I learned in law school: adverse possession. If you occupy someone's property long enough, openly and without permission, it can legally become yours. Ryan had been adversely possessing my emotional real estate for 8 years. Taking up space in my achievements. Occupying my successes with his failures. Converting my wins into background noise for his losses. The penthouse sale, or attempted sale, was just the legal version of what he'd been doing emotionally forever. He genuinely believed my property was available for his use. My home was his opportunity. My signature was a technicality. My ownership was negotiable. But here's what Ryan never understood about real estate law. Adverse possession requires the actual owner to not defend their claim. You have to abandon your property. Stop fighting. Accept the occupation. I never abandoned anything. I just waited for him to commit his theft in writing. The brownstone garden is blooming now. Tomatoes, basil, roses I planted in May. I work from home 2 days a week. The silence feels different than it did in the penthouse. No traffic noise. No ambulance sirens. No memories of Ryan's voice announcing his latest venture while Mom and Dad applauded. Last week I got an email from Patricia Holloway, the title examiner. She'd been promoted to senior fraud investigator based partly on her work on my case. Your brother's forgery was amateur, she wrote, but your documentation was impeccable. Made the investigation straightforward. Thank you for pressing charges. These cases often get settled quietly. Prosecution sends a message. I forwarded the email to my saved folder. Added it to the file labeled Evidence, 2024. 8 years of being the boring one. The stable one. The one who paid attention to details while Ryan chased visions. Turns out details matter. Documentation matters. Signatures matter. Ownership matters. Ryan wanted $2.7 million for his crypto fund. Instead he got a criminal record, $50,000 in restitution, and 3 years explaining to probation officers why he thought his sister's penthouse was his to sell. I wanted my family to see me clearly. Instead I got something better. I saw them clearly. And then I left. The account is closed. The deed is transferred. And I am finally completely free.